Oh boy, here are the brand new Apple AirPods Pro 3. And I know a lot of you are looking forward to and asking me about the Audio Engineer in-depth review, and it's coming. But I wanted to unbox this and give some sort of first impressions of what I think about the sound, especially in comparison to the AirPods Pro 2. And there are a lot of claims that Apple has about the new AirPods Pro 3 that I'm very interested about, especially in regards to the active noise cancellation. Really stoked about the heart rate sensing, but a little concerned about the tuning of it because they said that there's more bass, and just having more bass is not good enough because you have to balance out everything else. But let's find out. I don't know. Oh, and the ear tips. Ear tips sound really interesting, but let's unbox it. I hear that they removed the cable, so now you don't get a USB-C cable. That's fine. You get tons of those anyways. Oh, so you can't just like rip it. That's interesting. This is like more robust. There you go. And then in here, you get extra small if you got itty bitty ears. So for me, I have big old ear holes, so I'm just gonna change that out already. And one of the things that I saw here on the old ones, something that was unique about them is that their ear tip attachment did not go out. And so most earbuds, they have this kind of channel on it that makes it go into your ear quite a bit. So like this, for example, is the norm. So anyone who's doing some sort of attachment that's not this like huge tube that's going into your ear is kind of copying Apple, because they're the first ones that did something like this. And so Samsung kind of does that. So here we have the new ones. Whoa, yeah, that ear tip feels different. Oh yeah, look at this. So that's quite a bit of an addition to that little tube that goes into your ear. It looks narrower. Yeah, so it's not as big of a surface area. It's a little bit smaller. So it's not gonna make your ears feel as uncomfortable as something like this could potentially, since it's going into your ear so much more. But usually what you end up having, what is that? Oh. It was feeding back when it was in my hand. That's interesting. Some of the microphones were not doing too well on that. But yeah, sometimes when you have a tube that's going into your ear canal like this, it can be really wide and it can be very uncomfortable for some people's ears. This is interesting. So these earbuds are way different than these other ones. So their old one, they were just using silicone. So it's really floppy and stuff like that. That can be nice for a seal, but some of the density is not there. And when you have a foam ear tip, kind of like what you have on the Sony XM5s, that has a really great passive noise cancellation. So it helps out the ANC. It makes it so that the ANC doesn't have to work as hard because it's naturally or passively blocking out some of the sound. So this feels more rigid, but it still has this like hybrid of the silicone. It's very interesting. It's like both and, so it's really smart. Let's put this on. So in terms of the actual size of everything, it looks like it's actually a little bit bigger. I don't know if you can tell there. If it's adding more battery life, then that's fine. But yeah, it's actually wider and taller, and I think a little bit thicker. So they made it bigger overall. Well, that was not expected, but it does have the lanyard on there. You do have your little speaker on there as well, like the old one for the little chirps and chimes and stuff like that. And then on the back, you'll notice that the pairing button is not on there anymore. And that's because it's a lot like the AirPods 4. We just tap on it. Yeah, and so it'll do that instead. So it's removing some of the physical buttons in place of some sort of haptics or whatever. But let's pair it, and it should pop up right away. There it is, AirPods Pro. Surprised it doesn't say 3 on here. Okay, place them in your ears. Oh, whoa, okay, wow. Okay, the fit, it feels a lot better. And it's interesting, it's actually teaching you how to put in earbuds the way you're supposed to, like if you have an in-ear monitor. So in the live performance field, or you'll see musicians and audio mixers at live concerts and stuff, put in their earbuds a certain way. And if you want to get like the most like proper way, it usually is from behind. You have the cable running behind them, pull their ear down, open their mouth, put in, and then release. And that's how it's going there. So it's like really getting in there pretty deep. And the guide here is kind of telling you to do that a little bit. So that's smart. So you just kind of put in there. So it's kind of crazy that Apple is probably the company that's going to teach everyone how to put it in their earbuds properly. And I can already tell, like, wow, this is like passively already cutting out a whole bunch of different sounds and stuff like that, tracking your heart rate. Oh yeah, that's the other thing that's really interesting about this as well, is there's heart rate sensor on here. That's very similar to what you see on the Powerbeats Pro 2 by Beats here. If you didn't know, Beats is owned by Apple now. So this came out a little bit earlier this year, and they also utilize a heart rate sensor on the bottom. So I kind of feel like this was a bit of a beta test before Apple put it in here. But one thing that's unique about this is that it has a little light that's emitted on there, so it can track things a little bit more. In terms of heart rate sensing, it actually makes more sense to have it within your ear when you have it on your wrist and you're lifting weights and stuff like that, because you're flexing your muscles and all these different things. It can lead to inconsistent readings there. So the best spot is actually a chest strap. The next best spot that is practical is actually on your bicep, and the least accurate, I think, is actually on your wrist. I think your ring is actually a little bit more. I think that may be like the wrong order, but I know that the chest and the bicep is better than the wrist. But if you have the earbuds in there, this is next to the chest strap. It's one step below it. And that's because when you're lifting things or whatever, you're not flexing your ears. This is really nice, and it's actually closer to your heart than your wrists. So passively, I think it's sounding good. I do hear some interesting artifacts though sometimes with the transparency. If you put your hand right around the microphone, I guess, yeah, it'll start like leading to feedback and stuff. So keep that in mind. Now they do say that this has 4 times the active noise cancellation compared to the first gen AirPods Pro, and then 2 times the AirPods Pro 2. So let's put these in here. The prior one, the AirPods Pro 2 USB-C. Hear how it sounds. And then we're gonna put these in. Oh yeah, that's definitely a lot better. Okay, the low end is like really kind of gone there. That's interesting. Oh yeah, transparency. Checky check. Hey, 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 hey. Okay, so the AirPods Pro 2 were really great for transparency. So they're close. It feels like the AirPods Pro 2 feel more natural, and the new ones may have a little bit more of this like mid-range to it in high end. Yeah, it's a little bit more bitey. So that's something that's interesting. And you can kind of emphasize the frequencies that you hear if you put your hands next to the earbuds. It sounds like a hearing aid, you know, like a proper hearing aid and stuff like that. So it's really emphasizing high end, but it doesn't feel as natural. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but it's still pretty dang good. It's one of the best out there. Another thing is that the AirPods Pro 2 are IP54 rating, and the new ones are an IP57 dust and water resistance rating. So there you have an improvement there, which is really nice. Now there is a new ultra wideband chip in here, so it should be even better when you lose your AirPods and you need to use that Find My Network. I do it all the time. So it's really nice to have something in here that's going to be more robust. Additionally, you'll get 2 extra hours of listening time on the AirPods Pro 3 compared to the 2 for just using it with listening music and with ANC on. However, if you use the heart rate sensing with ANC on, it goes down to 6.5 hours, down from 8. So you will get half an hour more than the AirPods Pro 2, even with the heart rate sensing, which is still pretty good. Both of these have the hearing aid feature, and the new ones will last for 10 hours in the transparency mode or hearing aid status. One thing that if you haven't tried it yet, well, if you go to a concert and you want to hear the music with a higher fidelity, you know, like usually earplugs kind of suck because they make everything sound muffled. You just don't really get the experience of sound very well. Crazy enough, if you use the AirPods there and you turn it on transparency mode, it actually sounds amazing. It lowers the volume enough so it doesn't harm your hearing, but you can hear things very clearly. So this is like the best way to go to a concert. So I'm really excited to see how these perform compared to the AirPods Pro 2 at the next concert that I go to. All right, well, let's listen to some music. First, we're gonna go to the original one, so I just have some context here. The AirPods Pro 2 are actually decent sounding. They're pretty solid. They're not offensive, but they're also not like crazy. They're not like absolutely amazing, but they're just solid. They sound good, but not amazing. And that's actually a high bar to hit. I gotta commend them for having like just solid sound, even if it's not the most amazing thing, and like a good comprehensive package. Let's listen to this song real quick, get some context. Okay, mid-range sounds really good and nice on the AirPods Pro 2. That's something I always appreciated about it. It's not like the scooped sound. It's not overly bassy and insane. And so let's listen to it again now. Yeah, there's more low in here, but it's enough where they add enough low end that it's kind of smearing some of the clarity, which is a bummer. That's the thing that's like been really nice about the AirPods Pro 2 is felt like everything was kind of balanced and even, but like here it's kind of muffling things a little bit. The high end is a little bit like elevated, like so like the cymbals and stuff like that are a little bit emphasized, so it's a little bit more tinier there. Mid-range is still pretty good. It kind of reminds me of like what I would hear on the AirPods Pro 2, but like there's something going on the low end and the high end that's like a little bit of a departure. So it's still solid. You know, if I think about like a lot of different earbuds and stuff like that are out there, these do perform a lot better than a lot of other ones out there. So I'll give them that. Yeah, I really wish that Apple would give us an ability to adjust the EQ, like a graphic EQ. Nothing. It has an amazing app that allows you to adjust things things in a granular level between like specific frequencies. You can adjust Q levels, the shapes and stuff like that. So it's really advanced. You don't even have anything on the Apple side. So I really wish that they would add that. So in a way, you kind of get what you get, but you do gain a little bit of like a lower lows. So it's like a step forward and a step back at the same time. Maybe 2 steps back in a way. I don't know. Let me check it out. Let me listen to more things and see what my thoughts are a little bit more after I've sat with them a little bit more. Those are my first impressions. I think with the heart rate sensing, that's a really nice addition. The additional battery life is a huge deal. I love using my AirPods for listening to YouTube videos and podcasts and things like that, because they're just like a powerhouse. They're convenient for work and everything. And when I want to really listen to some music that I really enjoy, I often use wired earbuds. But yeah, I'm really interested in what your thoughts are, what you want me to cover, what questions you have for me. Let me know in the comments. If you comment within the first hour or two, I'll try to reply to you using the new voice reply feature. So yeah, you'll get a personal voice reply to me from the YouTube app, which is really cool. And if you'd like to pick up the AirPods Pro 3, go ahead and click the link down below in the description, as it helps support the channel with that affiliate commission that I get. I might get like $1, but every bit helps. So thanks so much. And make sure you stay tuned. I have a review coming up for the Nothing Ear 3 and of course the AirPods Pro 3. Thanks for watching. This is Tech Today. Until next time.